Well, what's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and I'm happy to give you my review on the Castlevania animated Netflix series, which was released, I believe, a week or two ago. Now, I'm sorry that this review is a little bit late, but I've just been busy with a whole bunch of different projects, so here you go. Now, before I get into it, chances are that most people who are interested in this series have already reviewed it, and most people who are also interested have already seen it. So this video is going to have a couple of spoilers, but I'm not going to spoil everything. I'm going to leave a number of key plot points out just in case you guys are curious to hear my thoughts on it if you haven't seen it already. Now, obviously, this animated series is based off the Castlevania series, and more specifically, I think it takes the most out of Castlevania 3, which kind of serves as a prequel to the first game. But it does do a number of things on its own to give it its own identity, which I really liked about it. For the most part, I really enjoyed this series. However, it does have one major critical flaw that I'm sure and everybody who's probably seen this could universally agree on what the biggest problem with this animated series is, but I'll save that for the end. But everything I really did like about this series is that I thought that the animation and the colors and the visual style and the tone were perfectly captured. This absolutely felt like Castlevania in every sense of the word. I think it had a great sense of atmosphere. I think it went over a number of key elements which felt appropriate for the time period that this story would be set. I liked how the story is a little bit different than you would expect starting from the beginning, because just to go into a little bit of the plot, what happens is you have this scientist lady who's basically goes to Dracula's castle, and she basically just goes in because she wants to study science. She's a scientist, and she believes that she can use this science to help mankind. And Dracula really isn't all too convinced at all about her, but he finds her very interesting because for some reason she's not really scared, but she's just fascinated by the amount of science that he has in his castle. So she spends some time with Dracula doing stuff, but then this plot kind of just jumps a good amount of time into the future, and she's being burned, and just as this woman is dying, she's just begging Dracula not to do anything drastic. There's still hope in mankind. And when she dies, Dracula's obviously pissed off, and he decides he goes to the town that burned his friend and basically says, okay, this woman was the only reason that I didn't pretty much go out and wipe all of humanity out, but now that you've killed her, I see no good in mankind, so I'm going to give you guys 1 year to get out of your cities before I summon an army of demons to pretty much hunt and kill all of you people. And that's just the basic intro of the plot. Now, as you move forward, you get introduced to one of the Belmonts, and after doing one positive deed, he pretty much gets sucked into this scenario, and now he has to battle the forces of darkness that Dracula has summoned. Now, I think that the action scenes were very, very well handled, and I think that the amount of character development that was given to the primary Belmont of the story was also handled very, very well. You don't really get to spend as much time as I would have liked in order to show his development, because he does have a bit of an arc, but I don't think it was fully explored as well as it could have been. There are a number of key characters that you might recognize from the game. However, I don't think they're really given too much backstory. I mean, you understand why they're there, but you don't really see them have an arc. They just kind of show up, do their own thing, and then we move on. Another thing that I also think that this did very, very well was the music. You don't really see that in animated movies like this, or animated series like this, but the music was also very, very well handled. But going into the primary problem that I had with this series is that it is simply far too short. I mean, there's only, for season 1, just think about that idea. For a season, it's only 4 episodes, and they're only 25 minutes each. That is just way too short. It didn't even feel like a season. It felt like it was the intro to season 1, because by the time you get to the final episode, everything is just starting to really get moving, and that's when it ends. It kind of felt like whoever created this did not really have a lot of faith in it, and so this was kind of more of like a demo season, really, an intro season. What I think they should have done is they either should have had like 12 episodes, 25 minutes each, or if you're only going to do 4 episodes, make it 45 minutes each. I mean, there's just not enough time to do everything. And yeah, this little kind of intro season does have some pretty cool moments, there's no doubt, but again, it's far too short. Now, hopefully when season 2 comes out, whenever that does eventually come out, hopefully they learn from their mistakes, they make these episodes a little bit longer, they allow a little bit more time for character development, because now we're going to be dealing with much more, we're going to be dealing with more characters than just Belmont moving forward, and hopefully they will just give us more episodes. But other than that, I really did enjoy the Castlevania animated series from Netflix, as short as it was. If I had to give it a rating, I would probably give it a B. If you haven't seen it yourself or you are curious, certainly give it a quick watch. You could finish it in like less than 2 hours if you're watching them back to back like I did. But again, just prepare to be disappointed because it is too short. Now, if you like my thoughts on the Castlevania Netflix series, be sure to like, comment down below, and please subscribe to track me on my future videos. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you next time.